Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your Vibe Mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Let's talk today about the masculine energy versus the feminine energy, and more so as it relates to ascension. That we as a culture have been extremely masculine for hundreds of years, and we are now being called to step into our feminine. That in order to ascend to the fifth dimension, it's going to require us being in our feminine as much or more so than being in our masculine. And just a fun note, in my personal opinion, being a single woman, and I won't say in the dating market because I really don't date, but being curious about what's out there. Men who are able to embrace their feminine have a very significant advantage over the very masculine man of the past. I will just say that. It's kind of more of a fun tidbit. But it is fascinating how many women obviously very easily step into the feminine energy, and yet how attractive it seems when you find a man who is able to be balanced in both his masculine and feminine. So, again, that's just my personal opinion, my little tidbit before we dive into the more specific, solidified details of this conversation. So, I'm going to run through sort of the traditional, what does it mean to be masculine, what does it mean to be feminine, and then I will get more into how I am seeing this play out and sort of the nuances around the language that may be necessary for us to fully understand how to step more so into the feminine, which means allowing for the abundance birthright that is trying to come to us and the manifestations that we have been working on. So we'll get to that. So for anybody who's not familiar, it is important to run through sort of what does the masculine and feminine energy look like. So masculine is very protective, very active, giving, expansive. It's very outward doing. There's confidence, inner strength, responsibility, focus, logic, support, stability, direction, protection, clarity, boundaries, courage, discipline. They're capable, certain, assertive, right? They can also be in the more negative, abuse, avoidance, criticism, unstable, competitive, controlling, aggressive, dominant, an abuse of power, or even confrontational, which of course is not where we want to go. We don't want any of the negatives of either of these. Now, where do we want to go is the feminine energy. And feminine means being more receptive, in stillness, very passive. More so, passive is a word that didn't really resonate well with me. I prefer more flowing and allowing. They can be intuitive, not can be. Feminine energy is intuitive. It is inward. It is unconditional love, understanding, nurturing, tenderness, intuitive, I think I said that twice, creative, feeling, right? Radiance, flowing. And I said stillness. It's worth repeating because it's really critically important. Surrender, sensitivity, emotion, ease, flow, allowing. I said flow twice too. Apparently I have emphasized the three words that I think are most important. And then of course the disempowered feminine is victim, powerless, weakness, manipulation, withholding, neediness, codependency, oversensitivity, and over emotional. So now the way I see this showing up in our lives today, or maybe a better way to say that, or another way to say that would be the aspects that we need to encompass more in the feminine energy is that surrender, the trust, the faith, the allowing, the receiving, the surrendering to what is. And on the inverse, the masculine that I'm seeing show up in every person that I've spoken with, but also in my own life. And I will say the most pervasive part of the masculine energy that is showing up in most of our lives right now is that resistance. The resistance to what is. And when we resist what is, it puts us in fight or flight. That when we go into that hypervigilant state, we are in that outwardly doing mode where we somehow believe that the divine doesn't have it handled, therefore I have to make sure this happens. And when we go into fight or flight, It is a clenching, it is a shutting down, it is an armoring, it is a restriction, it's a pushing against, it's a resistance, which what we resist persists. And so we are in the fight or flight, which means we are in the masculine, which means we are not in the feminine. We are not allowing the manifestations to come to us. We are not allowing the divine support to come to us. We are not allowing the love we desire to come to us. So what I really wanted to distill here today is moving into the fifth dimension. The number one highest priority is putting down resistance, stepping out of fight or flight, stepping out of hypervigilance, and stepping into the surrender, the allowing, the trust, and the faith. Stepping out of the masculine, the belief that I have to play God and make sure everything happens, and into the feminine of I know that all is in perfect divine order as it is, and I will have everything I need and more. That my dreams are going to come true and it's going to be better than I ever could imagine. And resting in the beauty of that, knowing that ease is available to you. That we no longer have to live the hard life. That it is all meant to be beautiful. It's all meant to be enjoyable. You deserve your dreams. They were put on your heart for a reason. Your desires are leading you towards your purpose. And in that vein, when you fully step in, when you fully surrender everything to the divine, it is easy. And the phrase, because I grew up in a religious environment, these phrases come to me, but they all support this message. The Bible says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Life is not meant to be hard. And if you have that belief, you must change it. Again, I will reiterate one more time, step out of the masculine, step out of the fight or flight, step out of the resistance, and step into the flow and the ease, the allowing, the abundance, the surrender, the trust, the faith. With that, I will leave you. I like to keep these short for you. Please do like, subscribe, share. Just a little namaste emoji would be amazing. Comments help the YouTube algorithm, so your support is very much appreciated in helping me continue to show up for you and be of service every day. Do make sure you click this button to subscribe so that you are notified of the next video, and I will see you on the flip side. Namaste, my friends. Take care.